Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to another episode of Start to Build, where I will take you from starting build concepts in Minecraft to advanced construction. Today is episode 5, and let's see what we'll be doing today. So, this is what we'll be doing today. As promised in the latest episode, we'll be focusing mainly on the interior of this house to give it a more practical and a more creative touch and not make it an empty box as all the rest of the houses have been. But first, let's take a look at our big board of blocks. And here we go. This is what we'll be using today. Will not be limited to these blocks. We'll be using other blocks as we go along. But to start off with, furnaces, cobblestone walls, lanterns, fences, armor stands, barrels, tripwire hooks, oak stairs, oak slabs even, smokers, item frames, all of these blocks, notebooks, looms, bookcases, chests, scaffolding, various trapdoors, and various flowers will be needed throughout the build. No alternative blocks in this case, because it is all up to you. This is just a guide or more of a guideline which you can use inside an interior build, and this is how I would do it. If you want to do it another way, please let me know in the comments below, but that's how your choice then. But let's get down to building, shall we? To start off with, let's first get the roofs and get the separation between all the rooms done. So to start off, we're going to take our oak slabs, oak plank slabs, and fill in the top layer here entirely across, like so, and do it here as well. And then in the second part of the room, we can do that too. So keep on putting in the slabs on the top part of the block, but spare out the final row here, because that's going to be where our staircase is going to be, which we will be building directly afterwards. So we're taking our oak stairs, and in a bit of a contrast on how you usually would build stairs, we're going to build them from the top down. So we're going to place one here, so keep one block there, we're going to place one here, and place one there, and then fill in the blanks with upside down stairs, like so. Okay, once that is done, we're gonna actually make the separation between these two rooms. I'm gonna use this as a sort of a kitchen area, and this more like a living room. So how we're gonna do that, we're gonna use our spruce trapdoors and lay them like so, flat on the ground. And then by pressing shift, we're gonna actually continue placing them on top of that, and then on top of that. And that should be enough if we put them upright to create a separation that's thinner than a block, and even thinner than a wall, just to create like a plywood in between. Knock out a place for the door, and then we can choose either this one or this one. We can knock out for an oak trapdoor to have some sort of a window between the two rooms. There we go. On the other side, we can use our trapdoors in the same way. Just keep pressing shift and see that you place them correctly, like so, like so, and then extend them upwards again. As you can see, we run into a bit of an issue here. Well, the issue is not actually that large, that we can see a bit here of the stairs. You can either use the oak slabs to fill that up. Me personally, I think if we would use the oak logs, oh, there went the light, sorry for that, and actually place them 2 blocks over, there we go, so we can create a line of logs here, and then we can mimic that on the other side. There we go. To create that separation, put a lantern here and there perhaps. There we go. To give that a nice view and actually keep the view for the stairs away from here. Of course, if we did any damages, now is the time to repair them. On top here, use the slabs to fill that completely in, and also to fill in this line and create some sort of an attic, which we will be trying to fill up with stuff later on. And perhaps leave a gap here in the middle just to put our ladder later. There we go. That's the first part done. Second part might be to put some lighting somewhere. I'm gonna put a lantern here, we'll remove it and replace it later on. Second part will be to knock out this door and this hole for the door and this this one above it. Put down an upside down stairs, and we actually are going to win a room extra with this, so we have some more space to put stuff down later on. That's it for the rough build, except a few other things. I need some ladders and I need some doors. It's up to you which doors you want to use. I'm going to continue using my oak and trusty spruce door and put them in like so. And some ladders here to get onto the attic, and downstairs we can put oh, no, not here, put a spruce door there we go. And well, that's it for now. You can even, if you would like that, you can even put an oak door here and work like that, but then you need to also place like one of the spruce that doors above it, so the wall is continuously boarded up. There we go. That's the rough structure of this build now done. Now we're gonna more to the technical side, more into the practical side. Again, this is all up to your own expectations. If you want to build this house just in creative, well, please do, and then see what you can do with that. If you say like, yeah, I want to build a house more in survival, then I can give you some handy tips perhaps on what you can use inside. So first up, we're gonna build our kitchen area. We're gonna start by getting a furnace and putting a smoker on top. Nice combination, and then using our cobblestone wall as sort of a chimney and punch out the block that leads to the next floor. Next to it we can make some stone and some stone stairs, if you can find them. There we go. And we can create like some kind of a surface area to prepare foods in. It's your narrative. And next to it perhaps a barrel. That seems to look kind of fine and logical. On the other side, for practical measures, we can knock out this one and create like a little hallway where we can, or a little tunnel where we can go into our mines. Or if you want to create a basement area for this build, you can just put some ladders in it and a trapdoor on top. This is rather a visible trapdoor. If you want to use a more inconspicuous one, you can use this one instead. It will blend in a little bit more and will still stick out a bit, but it will be hard to spot. For storage, we can use some chests perhaps, or some trap chests in this case, some scaffolding, and then put 2 barrels like so on top, and with our trip wire hook, you can actually create like little spouts to get some water or other beverages from, and we have some practical storage here and there. Now the only thing a kitchen needs is actually a small kitchen table, perhaps, or a dining place table. The space doesn't allow us to go really big, but you can always use like scaffolding as a sort of a makeshift table. Take 2 of oak stairs and some item frames, like so, or perhaps even better, use the trapdoors and create like little chairs in this fashion. There we go. So we've got some practical needs, we've got some creative needs met, and I think this will suit a kitchen quite nicely. Continuing on into the living room, I'm gonna switch up our palette a bit. I'll keep some blocks, not all. I'm gonna use some new ones. There we go. And perhaps some spruce. And tripwire hooks, I think that will do fine. Yeah, like so. Okay, so first things first, we're going to create some bookcases, give us something to read and think about. Now, bookcases can be a bit overwhelming if you use them a lot. They do tend to look all the same unless you're using mod packs or tweaks. What I tend to do is actually use a loom, especially the back side of a loom. There we go. Because that will create, that's the reason why we don't put a door there. So that will create like an empty shelf or several empty shelves in the bookcase itself. We're gonna do that here as well. Gonna put some empty ones at the bottom and then select some on top. As I said, you don't have to follow it. It's more of a suggestion than actually something you have to do, but it might work out nicely. For heating in this part, we can use a furnace. You can even use a blast furnace if that's more of your liking. Knock out again the block above it. I think it suits nicely in the corner here, gives it a nice feeling. And that is that for now. And what does a good living room need? Perhaps some comfy chairs. And how are we going to do that? By using our spruce stairs, and then in combination with a fancier block, the note block, as a sort of a table, like so. We can create like a little seating area. We can also use the trapdoors to get that comfy chair feeling going. And inside the item frames, we can put then trap hooks and point them in the right direction. There we go, to give some it's little details like this that can make or break a build, especially if you're working in this confined space. That can actually do a lot for you. Something else on top, what is a good living room without some fancy thinking glasses? So we take our sea pickle. And why sea pickles go? Oh, because this allows us actually to put more than one of them, and it looks kind of like a cup. It can be also like a blown out candle. That works as well. Yeah, so there we go. We have everything that we need for now. If you want to add in or remove more of the details, again, it's completely up to you. That being done, let's work our way upwards towards the first floor. As you can see, our chimney is sticking through there. You can place another furnace here to create another heat source in the narrative, or you can actually not do that and use different and continue the chimney onwards. It's up to you. Now for this room, I've chosen actually to make it like the more of the study or crafting room for a clothes maker. And I'm just gonna add a few bits and bobs here and there to give it that more of that feeling. I misplaced my item frames. Sorry for that. There we go. That's what we'll be needing. So, well, clothes maker. Let's put a loom here. Let's put a crafting table there. We can put an oak trapdoor in between. Although I think we might actually better go for the spruce variety, or you can use a slab in between to give it that extra. I'm gonna replace this lantern later. A chair to work in, perhaps an armor stand at the back with some clothes already on it. You can use leather armor for that perhaps, and extend these cobblestone walls further upward to give it that chimney feeling, to get that going. You can For this side of the room, you can go for a long table, like kind of overhanging the stairway. That's one thing you can do. You can put some items on there as well. I personally do think that a fence as a little balustrade might do better. There we go. Especially in combination with the lantern, which I've so we'll give some much needed light to the room. The lantern here as well, or you can double up somewhere and hang it on the ceiling. It's totally up to you. You can put an item frame here to break up the complete evenness of the wall, and put a tripwire hook. It kind of looks like a needle in there. You can extend these upwards again to break up that flat surface, that 3x3 surface, to give it some more extra detail. As I said, completely up to you in what you want to do. Moving onwards, perhaps one of the most important rooms in a house, that would be the bedroom, and for that we'll be needing a bed. Seems logical. Lantern as well. Some cobblestone walls. Some barrels perhaps, some chests. Note block. And well, let's go for a flower pot. Let's add a little bit of detail there as well. So where we're gonna place, first take away the lantern, then hang one from the ceiling, and take away all of the upside down stair blocks, like so. If you used full blocks for this part of the build, as I did here, it's best that you remove them and actually replace them with slabs. And on the other side as well, to get it a little more spacious, a little more room. There we go. The bed we're gonna place underneath the window, seems logical. I'll put a note block next to it as a little bit of a night cupboard. Perhaps some chests. See here, an armor stand to put our armor on. Can put a barrel, one here. So, and then perhaps what else can we use for a nice little block? Perhaps another of these bookshelves with a flower pot on top, and then give it and also a nice flower. In this case, a pink tulip. Okay, so we got this bit sticking out here, and how we're gonna continue building. We can put the furnace here again, so you have an extra heating place in your house. But normally I would suggest actually just putting the cobblestone wall there, as is the chimney as passing through this side of the house. Yeah, perhaps an extra chest here, just to break it up a bit more. And some supportive structures like so. Yeah, seems about right. That being said, we're going to continue upwards into the final part of our building, or the highest point of our building. Again here, if you want to do this for creative, just in creative, then I would suggest leaving the stairs, upside down stairs here. If you're doing this in a survival world, then it might not be the most handy thing in the world, that you're losing this much space. So then actually I would suggest actually replacing it. It's completely up to you. In here, this will be used mainly for storage, so I suggest we put barrels at the back, and at the front place some chests. Can actually be used as quite a good place to store your first materials in. There we go. On the other side, well, here also continue upwards, knock out that block, put a spruce plank in place, and then the back, you can put the barrels, and at the front you can put some chests. Why the barrels in the back? Well, the barrels don't need an open block above it to be opened, and you can reach them because the chests are not a block high. And then of course light it up so you don't get some creeper spawning here, because that would be quite... There we go. Perhaps here another lantern. Apparently you can't go through a lantern. And perhaps knock out the chest there and put the lantern there. There we go. Seems about right. Our clothes maker home seems about done right now. If you see anything that you would do differently, like here I forgot actually to put back the spruce trapdoor. Please do comment down below on what you would do differently. I think this is a nice blend of practicality and creativity, and it gives a warm feeling as well. So onto the outside. I know I said we did the exterior last time, but we're gonna do that this time as well. If you take out certain blocks, do replace them, and the blocks that were on top of it. And take your cobblestone walls and extend this one. There's a chimney coming out of the kitchen, and here we can actually make a bit of a larger chimney. There's a chimney coming out of the main house building. And these flower stands that we made earlier, we can actually create like a nice combination of some flowers. I think some of the saplings might actually work as well. Dark oak saplings might look like a sort of a herb bush that it's done in front of the window of the kitchen. It's completely up to you what you want to do with that. I would suggest perhaps for in front of this window put the 2 tall flowers in. Perhaps some roses. There we go. Like it's past due time for the gardener to come by and actually trim the roses a bit. And it also some, perhaps put a single flower here or another bush or anything you would like that gives it some extra flavor. On the exterior, I would not do much except the following. Take birch leaves. I personally use them quite a lot. I think they're quite neat. And make some shrubberies around the entire thing. Here as well. Do make sure that you don't envelop the entire pole or the entire wall with them, and just sprinkle them in like so. Don't let them overrun the building. But if you have like a bland patch like here, there we go, we can do that like that. Final thing I would like to add is actually the following. It's a neat little trick I picked up a few years ago. It uses a combination of a torch, an item frame, and an anvil. So next to the door, put 2 torches. There we go. Put item frames over it, and then put anvils inside the item frames, and that will give it like the nice cone where the torch is actually set into. It's a nice little detail that you can add. Personally, I quite like it. It draws a bit of the attention away from the wall towards the door. That's actually what I wanted to achieve. I think we're done here. I don't see anything that I've left out. Again, if you want to do it differently, please do. It's more like a guideline than actual rules to follow. And there we go. I would like to thank you all for watching. If you really liked it, please do leave a like. If you really liked it, please do subscribe. My name is Great Harlequin. This was Start to Build, and I hope to see you all in the next episode. Keep on building.